This is the USS Constitution, a frigate, and still a commissioned ship in the United States Navy. Hi everybody, welcome back to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins, and we've got a new episode here on building the Haven. We had a previous episode not so long ago where I started making the GAFF jaws. As I got started putting it together on the GAFF, I realized it was a sort of complicated process, and I actually had to do some problem solving in the process. Enough so that I felt like it was interesting enough to go ahead and do another video on the GAFF jaws. So that's what we're going to concentrate on this time, and I'm happy to report that they came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that's going. We're getting the spars together. I am ordering rigging. That tells me that we're very close to getting this baby back on the trailer and in the water. So we're glad you're here. And if you're new to the channel, would you consider subscribing? There's also should be a little bell down here somewhere that you can click on and get notifications and updates of future videos. And we still have a lot going on. So anyway, let's jump in and see how we go ahead and put the GAFF jaws on the GAFF and get it all put together. We had done a video previously on this GAFF jaw, but I hadn't got to the most interesting part of this. What I'm doing right now is I'm drilling out a little slot right here, and it's for this tang. I got this piece of bronze from Jim Reinick. And what this is a piece that your block goes on and is for the throat halyard. So this dude has to go in this slot, and a pin has to go through here to hold it. So I couldn't figure out how I was going to make this slot. Okay, so here's what we're doing. You've got this little piece, this little slot here, and that's the top view, and then this is the side view. And so you can see that this dude's supposed to swing up and down. So there's a block goes on the end of it, there's this little bronze tang, and then there's a bolt right where my finger is. It goes straight through the jaws, straight through the gaff, and there's got to be a slot in there so that, you can see it on the side view, that pin goes all the way through there and through the tang. So I measured it all out, and I got my GAFF jaws on here, and I was like, how am I going to make that slot? And at first I thought about doing it with an angle grinder, and then I was like, you know, that's angle grinder can get away from you. So I started out with my countersink bit, because it's got a real sharp pointy end on it. And so then I came in here and I just started making little drill holes in there. And I could control it. I had drawn a line on here and I could control it. You can see part of it right there. So I did that. Then I came back with, I measured this thing, and it is almost exactly 1/8 of an inch thick. So I went with my next drill bit up past that. I think it was 5/32 maybe. And so that's this one. And then I just started drilling in here, and you may be able to see it's still kind of, you can still see little drill holes down in there. And so I kept going, and then every once in a while I'd take my ruler and stick that down in here and see how deep I am. So see right there, we're about 3/4 of an inch. And then took that same square and I put it on the side of the gaff, measured back how far it's supposed to be from the end. Sit this dude in here, and start figuring out, okay, how do I drill through there? Well, the pin that goes through there is supposed to be a 1/4 inch, but when Jim sent me this thing, it's not a 1/4 inch. It's more like 5 millimeters, or what's also sometimes called a number 10. So then the next thing I did is I went to the store because I couldn't find any bolts that were number 10 size that were going to be that long. We're talking almost 5 inches across there. So I got some threaded rod, and it's number 10 by 24 threaded rod. So it's not bronze, but it's the best I can do at the moment. And so then I drew my line on there. I again used the countersink bit to at least try to get started and tried to keep the drill as straight and true as I could on that line. So I started drilling a hole in there. And I did it on the other side. And you see I sort of tore up the wood just a little bit with the drill bit, but that's the least of my troubles right now. So I came through there, and lo and behold, I hit it. I managed to go straight through, and now I can take this rod and put it through there. You can see it's going through the slot, and it will come out the other side. Yes. So you can see it down in there. Now, I just have to make sure that I'm dug out deep enough that I can stick this dude in there and run that pin through everything it's already run through, plus that hole. And then this dude will swing up and down on here as it needs to, as the sail's being raised, and then as the gaff is being raised, it'll adjust. It took me a long time to figure that out. Now, I'm not quite deep enough in there, so now my next move is to use the Dremel and just clean that out in that slot. This is what's so fun about boat building, is you just got to try to figure these things out. And sometimes you really got to think about it for a little while, and then you got to use what you've got. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way this is going so far anyway. We'll take some pictures of it once we get it all put together. Okay, so my only little screw up now is that I don't have the right nuts for this. I bought some of these little end cap ones, and they're 10 by 24, so that'll work. And that one is screwed on there. I think I'll chisel that out around that end just so that fits in there a little cleaner. And then on this end, I guess I'm going to have to cut this rod, and I'm afraid of bunging up the threads. So I'd like to put a nut on there that I can back off before I try to put those little end cap dudes on there. But the other nuts that I bought are number 10 by 32, not 10 by 24. So I'm kind of disgusted with myself on that, but that's just another trip to the store tomorrow. And you can see here now I got that, so you can lift the whole thing up with that. It's running through the gaff jaws, the gaff, and this tang. Awesome. How about that? Awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.